Okay. Cool, cool. Now, I'm not sure how it will work, but I think you're going to end up with it. So if you
Yeah,
could email
I'll
it to me.
turn it over to you. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Holy Jesus, Colin. Okay. Welcome back to Thrashers Paradise, everyone. I'm joined via satellite, I think. I don't know. Um, that's the Dead Sentries from Ottawa. They're in they're in Ottawa. I'm in Hamilton. This is the only way we can do this interview because I guess it's a long drive for either one of us and Corona, so this is the new normal, I guess. Okay, how are you all doing?
Good.
Good, man.
Finally got back to practicing again.
That is the important thing. Now, now to start off the questioning. It says on Facebook you're an industrial metal band.
Does it?
It does. That's what your page says. You're industrial metal, and when I'm listening to you, it's like, you sure about that?
Yeah. Well, you heard the not quite. You heard the single there, and yeah, it definitely wouldn't fall under industrial.
Oh, I heard the album too.
Oh, sick. Okay.
I came from. I did my research. Don't worry. No, I've heard everything, and does it really sound industrial? Like
Nope.
technical for sure. Like
for industrial, so no sweat there.
no, but you guys are very excellent, like technically, and I guess like there's so many elements you have. I can't name them all. Like tech, yeah. Everything else, you just gotta explain. Like what is your genre? I guess is the question.
I guess I would say it's like instrumental metal, rock. I don't know. We just do whatever we like, and if it sounds cool, we'll play it.
Yeah, I
True.
think there's some like melodic kind of like overtone to most of the music that we write, and we draw from like some like progressive elements and that kind of thing. So I guess that like I wouldn't want to pigeonhole the band as a prog band, but it's probably like the most loose genre you could attach to the band
Yeah.
overall.
Okay, now the latest single that you were referring to earlier was Jesus called Papa Soda.
Yeah.
Yes, I got the name right. Thank God. Okay. So Pop the Soda, it on Spotify, I don't understand the numbers, but you have 5,199 people saved it or liked it.
I think that's streams.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. Well, you have that many streams, and then your music videos going over very well. As musicians, how does that make you feel?
Well, it feels pretty good because we put a lot of work into this song. Jacob originally brought the song to the band not long after he joined the band, and it's been a work in progress ever since. And to finally have it released is exciting, and we're glad that people are digging it.
Yeah, definitely the most concerted effort we've put towards anything. What with getting a nuke to mix it, with getting sort of just making sure it's a polished product to the best of our ability. This is definitely the best expression of that. So to see it kind of accepted accordingly is really nice.
Excellent. Now, what was it like to create the music video for the song?
That was fun, actually. It's the first time I've ever done a music video. The guy that we worked with, Dark Moon Productions, was unreal. Had a lot of ideas, had the technical know-how to get everything we were kind of looking for, and then, oh, nice, you got a cat. He had the sort of the ability to take loose concepts that we had for a music video and then just make it happen on the screen. And it came out really, really well. I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah. I think you said it.
Now, for each of you individually, what was the one shot throughout the whole music video that you just seemed to not get it right?
I don't know. There's one part where I like predominantly play an old style of playing it, and I think there's like a snapshot of that in the music video, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say there was like a particular spot that really stood out. There were definitely takes, of course, that you miss a part here or there, a couple of flubs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, he was able to smooth over our mistakes and make the music video come out without most of them. So props to him.
Yeah, and for me, it's kind of like what Jacob said. There's not really a part that stood out as being tough to nail, but going over it so many times, you're bound to get into your own head and overthink the part and not just play it like we normally do. So once I start thinking about something, I usually mess it up and I lose my spot.
Now, recently, you had your song played on the radio. What was that like? Just out of the blue, you got a message from us, just like, "Hey, your song's on the radio." Like, what was just that like in that moment?
People still use radios.
It's funny because it always happens that way too. It's always random. Like, it'll just pop up, and it sort of pops up in these random places. We don't quite know where or when it's going to pop up, but it's always nice to know, especially locally with guys like you that are kind of listening to it close by. It's always nice.
Yeah, it's definitely a pleasant surprise to hear that. It's getting some extra exposure.
Awesome. Now, back in 2018, you did release your first full length. When can we anticipate, I guess, the next full length or EP or whatever you are all working on?
So right now we're focusing on singles because that gives us the opportunity to really focus on one track, polish it up, and get it how we like it, and then we can release it quickly so that there's not a big gap like there was previously in releasing music. I think it also gives us the opportunity to put more effort into a song and make it sound the way that we want it. But I don't know, we might go back to the EP or album kind of thing, but for the near future, at least, we'll be sticking with singles so we can bring fresh ideas and put them out as soon as possible.
Yeah, it definitely allows for like a steady stream of content to kind of keep the band active. Whereas if you're devoting a bunch of time to writing and producing, recording, a full EP or even a full album, it definitely takes away your ability to like stay active in the online community. And this way we can sort of like have a unique sort of plan in terms of how we allocate our finances and resources and stuff. So I think that overall, like it almost kind of borrows from the like the EDM / electronic music sort of scene style. A lot of those kinds of artists stick to the like single song sort of format, and I think that we'll probably try to perfect that for a little while.
Awesome. Now, from a lot of the other metal bands I have heard and listened to in Ottawa, you definitely sound completely different from the rest. Now, does it make it harder because you do sound different from the rest to get shows in your hometown?
No, we've never really had a hard time getting shows. I think
if anything, kind of makes it harder for us to fit in playing some of the shows. But I mean, there's the positive side of that where we can turn up at most gigs and we're unique and it's something that a lot of people might not have heard. So we kind of stand out when we're playing shows with some of the bands that might sound more similar to each other.
Yeah.
Stop. Not you. My cat. I'm so sorry. She's just attention whore. Say hi, Chico. Hi, Chico. Okay. Stay. Say, okay. Perfect. Then apologize for that. No, so usually a lot of local bands, depending on how widespread their music does end up reaching, you always end up with that one fan from a country that you're like, oh, we're being listened to there? Do you have, where, for you and for Dead Centuries, where is that fan and what country is it?
The guy that bought that guitar book came up from the States.
Oh yeah, there's a guy who's been following us for a couple of years. He's from the States, and every time we play a show, if he can make it up, he'll make the drive for like an hour and a half to come see us play.
Yeah.
Super supportive, and it's great to have people that really dig what we're doing, like to come see us play.
That's awesome that he tries to come to every show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. What I didn't actually know about it until a while after it started happening, and then Adam told me, and I was like, "What? This guy comes from the States? That's like, yeah, it's
I know.
pretty
That's
sweet.
crazy.
That's the furthest I know of anybody driving for one of our shows too, like coming up from New York, and
Wow, yeah, that ain't no easy drive.
yeah.
Okay. No. So for each of you individually, where is the dream location that you would like to perform a show at one day?
I don't know, you guys?
Probably Europe. Like, well, Europe has that. What's the festival called? Of course, where like it's almost an instrumental festival. It's like it's not Tech Fest, but it's maybe it is Tech Fest. It's something like that, where it in Europe they just have a better, like a deeper, seemingly appreciation for kind of what we're doing. So it quite almost anywhere in Europe. What do you?
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, like in terms of just like a place that'd be really cool to play, I'd have to say the Corona Theater in Montreal. It's a sweet venue.
Yeah, that's a cool spot.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah. Awesome. Excellent. Now, yes, what do you want? I'm doing an interview. Stop trying to bite me. Jesus, cat. Again. Sorry. Please leave. Probably the most hectic interview by a cat I'm assuming you've ever been part of.
Yeah, it's topping the charts.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm losing my train of thought due to the cat. I apologize. Okay. Oh yeah. So it's no secret that you do not have vocals in your music. What made you all collectively want to be that way?
I think it began kind of naturally. We had a different lineup for the band, and as we moved in a different musical direction, the instrumental thing kind of seemed like the right way to go. And we get the question all the time, when are you getting a singer? Why don't you have a vocalist? And it always kind of makes me think of that scene in Back to the Future where Marty McFly plays a song and the crowd doesn't know how to react. And he said, okay, they made us too new for you, but your kids are going to love it. I think people have the expectation that a band should have a singer,
Mhm.
and instrumental bands aren't as rare as they used to be. So I think it's a good space for us to be in.
Excellent. Now, for each of you individually, where do you hope to see the Dead Centuries in 5 years?
So for me, I just hope to see us writing and recording more music. I think we've found a really good groove that we're into now. We're learning a lot about what we like to do and how we like to do things. So I think just putting out more music and playing more shows.
Yeah, when shows come back. Yeah, same. There's sort of when I was going into the studio for the first time, somebody told me that you either love the studio or hate it. And I definitely love the studio format or the setting. So yeah, as we keep writing and recording, I think that'll be a good thing to do over the next 5 years.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm with both of you. I think it'd be really cool to play more shows, go on longer road trips, and get some experience playing with more bands.
Excellent. Now, speaking of shows, when there is the green light for shows to start back up again, where for each of you would want to be the first venue you would like to play at?
Well, I think Mavericks just came under new ownership.
Did.
Yeah, the guy from the Coven, Medi, bought it. Yeah, there's a bigger venue here in Ottawa called Mavericks, probably there. Or maybe House of Targ. House of Targ's always amazing. The staff there are so nice.
Yeah.
Just chill. Oh, man.
I think House of Targ would be my choice. That is a fun place to play.
The staff, there's a difference, right? You go to a venue where the people give a shit versus they don't give a shit. And every time we go to either House of Targ, Live on Elgin, it is immediately evident that everybody there actually cares. So it's...
They have good beer there,
too. Well, that's important. It's very important. Now, for each of you individually, who's the dream band to work with?
Intervals.
Well, wait, how do you mean work with? To go on tour with, or to write music with, collaborate with?
Yeah, I see the point you're making now. Jesus, Colin. Okay, let's just say to go on tour with.
Yeah, Periphery or Intervals for me, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anything Devin Townsend's doing would be sick.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool to tour with Intervals because then we could have a bass player when we play live. That would be pretty sick.
Oh, you don't have a bass player?
No. So, and the reason he says that is on Papa Soda, the bassist for Intervals played bass for us. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense now because I was very confused. Are they playing guitars or is one of them a bass player? I'm confused. Yeah. Well, actually, speaking of guitars, I do have some questions about the guitars you're both playing, if that's cool.
Yeah, of course.
So, what kind of guitar is that?
So in the music video, we're playing Strandberg guitars, and they're based in Sweden. They're like an ergonomic, lightweight, comfortable guitar to play.
Okay. What makes them different compared to other guitars?
I think, the main selling point is it's headless. So it's a lot smaller and lighter weight. And it also has a unique patented neck design. So you can't really find that on any other guitars.
Cool. No, I was just always curious because I've seen it once before live, and then when I saw it in your music video, I was just like, what is this mysterious guitar that is being used?
Yeah. that happens after shows. These guys get questions about them at least once every show.
Yeah.
Really?
It's either, hey man, your guitar is so cool, like what is that, or oh, did your guitar fall down the stairs? Like, kind of what.
So is this a guitar you can find in a store, or do you have to specially order it from somewhere?
Yeah, typically you'll order it from directly from the manufacturer, or you can find them used online, kind of thing.
Oh. Excellent. Now, gentlemen, we're down to one last question. Now, we asked this to everyone to ensure that we're not talking to guys or women we've met on Craigslist, because what a scam, right? We call it the poser question, and it's to ensure the people we're talking to aren't posers. So are you ready for it?
I'm not sure we're gonna pass this. Good luck. Can we just say we're posers and then?
Aw.
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay. Who would win in a fight, Lemmy or God?
Oh, I know this one. You guys know this?
No, I don't.
It's a trick question.
Lenny is
God.
Yeah, there we go. Nice.
I'm assuming you've seen Airheads then.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for taking time out of your, I guess, jam session to be on Thrashers today. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the people that are going to be watching this over YouTube?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Check out the song.
Yeah. Check out the song. Check out the music video. Follow us on all the stuff and the things and the Instagrams. And hopefully we'll see you guys out at the show soon.
Excellent. And until next, I was doing the outro and then I messed up. Jesus. Okay. Until next time, everyone, keep on thrashing.
Cheers. I can stop the recording there.
Because I can't control that.
Yep.